Nostradamus' gloomy predictions for the coming years are presented. For centuries, people had been obsessed with the prophecies of the 16th century French astrologer and fortune-teller Michel de Notredame, or, as he is called in Latin, Nostradamus. 4.5 centuries after the soothsayer's quatrains were published, the verses of the 4 stanzas are still analyzed and discussed, with each new year bringing another series of interpretations. It is no different in the case of 2022. Supporters of Nostradamus say that at least some of his predictions have come true, such as the poems that allegedly predict the Great Fire of London or the death of Henry II in France. Skeptics point out that prophecy is an inaccurate science, and that Nostradamus' writings are so vague that of course you can review some of them if you wish and associate them with almost anything. Regardless of what one thinks about Nostradamus' supposed prophetic abilities, his verses mention a few things that, when put in context, may be encountered in 2022. One of the quatrains of Nostradamus seems to be related to food shortages, and it's a pretty grim prediction that ends in cannibalism. So high is the price of wheat, that the man despairs, he will eat his brothers. Since Nostradamus wrote these words, the world has experienced hunger many times, so it could talk about anything or anything. It is worth noting, however, that there are currently several factors that could indicate, if not direct hunger, serious food shortages. Supply problems caused by the COVID-19 pandemic have already broken numerous supply chains, and the consequences of these events can be like falling dominoes: war, starvation and death at the end. Until now, food shortages were more of a huge inconvenience than real hunger, perhaps to mention the Holodomor, or the wolf's hunger in Ukraine, created by the Bolsheviks during the collectivization of agriculture. Back then, people did eat each other. Seen from this perspective, this prophecy came true in the 1930s. However, that was once upon a time, and global supply chain issues are something we face here and now and are far from being resolved, and the situation is likely to get worse. 2 of Nostradamus' other grim predictions are far worse than just food shortages and hunger. Moreover, 2 of his prophecies may point to a worldwide extinction of mankind, and perhaps a slow, painful end for each of us. For 40 years the rainbow will not be visible. For 40 years it will be visible every day. The dry land will be drier and drier, and there will be great floods when it is visible. It is speculated that this prophecy allegedly predicts a worldwide drought caused by a nuclear winter caused by a global conflict or an asteroid impact. Indeed, potentially dangerous asteroids constantly fly past the Earth, and the only question is when, not whether, an asteroid will collide, which, if large enough, could even cause mass extinction of living organisms. There is another possible threat that Nostradamus could not have foreseen: the development of artificial intelligence, AI. For decades, the idea of computers and robots becoming conscious and uncontrolled was the basis of science fiction horror stories, but Nostradamus could have predicted it centuries earlier. The new wise man with the solitary brain sees this: his disciples are invited to be immortal. It is quite possible that this prophecy is just a warning of artificial intelligence, a threat that most people are not even able to visualize. Thank you for watching. For more materials please check my channel.